So, you want to start taking peptides, but you don't know where to begin. Well, today we're going to break down one of the most talked about new metabolic therapies in development, Retatrutide. It's a next generation investigational drug that's been making headlines for its dramatic effects on weight, blood sugar, and metabolic health. In this video, we're going to cover Retatrutide, what it is, how it works, what researchers have found so far, how reconstitution works, what supplies are used, and the benefits and side effects that have been reported in the clinical studies. I was just like you guys, and I had to do countless research and look at videos. I mean, there's a lot of great information on YouTube, on the internet. You can go into databases and find a bunch of great information. But I just want to make this video for beginners who don't really know where to start and want to get into something like peptides, but just want a general broad overview to help them. And I'm going to try to talk very basically and help you delve into this world of peptides that's really amazing. So, what is retatrutide? Well, retatrutide is an investigational peptide-based medication. It's not yet approved, and it's currently in clinical trials for obesity and type 2 diabetes. So the thing that makes retatrutide unique is that it is a triple agonist. That basically means that it activates on three different metabolic hormone receptors. These receptors are the GIP receptor, which stands for glucose dependent insulinotropic polypeptide, GLP-1 receptor, which stands for glucagon like peptide 1, and the glucagon receptor. This combination is designed to dramatically increase your fullness or satiety, improve insulin sensitivity, boost energy expenditure, and reduce body fat. So, how does retatrutide work? Well, to understand why retatrutide is getting so much attention, it helps to look at how these three pathways work. GLP-1 slows digestion, reduces appetite, and improves blood sugar control. GIP enhances insulin release and may improve how the body handles fat. As for the glucagon receptor, the activation of this receptor increases energy expenditure and fat burning. By combining all three, retatrutide aims to create a synergistic effect that goes beyond what single pathway drugs like semaglutide or tirzepatide can do. Now let's talk about something many people are curious about, which is reconstitution. A lot of people generally have lots of questions surrounding reconstitution, how to reconstitute your peptides, and they're very afraid to mess it up. And I also fell into this category when I first started, but it's very simple once you learn the basics. Basically, when you buy your retatrutide, it's going to come in a lyophilized powder form, which means obviously you can't inject the powder, so you're going to need to reconstitute it before use. So the way we reconstitute is that first we need to get our bacteriostatic water, or as it's commonly called, backwater. And basically, you're going to be able to get your backwater from wherever you're purchasing your peptide, right? So from whatever vendor, if you're using Gray, or if you are buying from a research facility based in America, or wherever you get your peptide from, basically, most likely your vendor will sell backwater. You're going to want to purchase that. It's not too expensive. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that backwater, and you're going to want to make sure you're using alcohol prep pads. You could buy these on Amazon, like a box of 100 or 200. You want to grab your little alcohol wipey, wipe down the top of your backwater, wipe down the top of your peptide vial, and you want to grab a needle or syringe. You're going to draw your bacteriostatic water out, and then you're going to want to inject it into your peptide. So onto your retatrutide, which is a powder, right? You don't want to blast the peptide. This is like debated if that's a myth or not, but just gently like release the water along the side into the powder and then roll it in your hands to mix it, right? Don't shake it. And basically that's going to dissolve your powder, turn that into a solution that'll be ready for you to inject. Obviously, you're going to want to refrigerate your peptide too. So after you reconstitute it, you're going to want to put it in the fridge, make sure it stays there, and it should be good for about 4 weeks. But again, this is something that's really debated a lot. If it's good for like 60 days, is it good for 28 days, 30 days? I just like to play it safe and say like a month, generally, typically a month. I try to use it all within a month. If it goes a little over or a little under, I don't really care. I've been fine, so it doesn't really bother me. And you just want to make sure you're being sterile, making sure that you are in a clean setting, making sure you're wiping everything down. You don't want to get microbacteria on your rubber stopper and forget to alcohol wipe the top and then when you're pushing your needle in, you accidentally push the bacteria in. It's going to grow into your peptide and then ruin everything. So just make sure you're being very clean. Practice your best medical professional skills. As we know, none of us are medical professionals. Obviously, this is all just for research. They say consult with your doctor, blah, 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 but who gives a fuck? We're doing this because we don't want to go to the doctor, right? Because honestly, they're going to screw us over, make us pay a bunch of money, not worth it. But again, just because I'm just informing you guys, I'm going to say talk to your fucking doctor. Um, and don't take what I'm saying literally, I'm just trying to inform you guys, but I'm not a professional. So, as for the benefits that have been seen in studies, even though retatrutide isn't approved yet, we have a lot of results from early trials, and they've honestly proven to be remarkable. And some of these benefits include significant weight reduction, obviously, right? That's why you're here. That's why you want to take Reta, is you want to lose weight. Well, some participants have lost over 20% of their body weight. Obviously, everybody's different. Everybody's body's going to react different to the peptide, but you are going to see weight loss. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. You could mind over matter this. I've seen people online on social media that at least they claim they're taking Greta and they gain weight. So you can mind over matter it, but at least for me, I'm gonna get more into my personal use of it at the end of the video. But if I ever overeat or if I get full and I keep going, I will feel sick and get this crazy stomach ache. So that's just me. Another benefit of retatrutide is improved blood sugar control, mainly in people with type 2 diabetes, but generally for people overall. You also will see reduced liver fat, which may help conditions like fatty liver disease, and improved metabolic markers, including insulin sensitivity and cholesterol levels. So these results suggest that retatrutide may become one of the most powerful metabolic therapies ever developed. But again, it's still in clinical trials, and more research is needed before it's safe for human consumption. Again, we all know it's bullshit. Big Pharma is going to capitalize on this and drive the prices through the roof. So, I mean, it's not FDA approved yet. It obviously will be FDA approved at some point. One thing no one's certain of is the long-term effects, so do be very careful if you're going to take this, and go into it knowing that, hey, long-term usage, we don't know, 10, 15 years down the line what this is going to do. But for the most part, it is generally safe, and you shouldn't experience anything too bad with it except for the side effects, which we're going to get into right now. So, like all medications, retatrutide comes with the um, potential side effects. In clinical trials, the most common ones were similar to the other GLP-1 based therapies. So, something you could potentially experience is nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, abdominal discomfort, fatigue, and obviously the best side effect is loss of appetite. I mean, that's kind of the reason why we're doing this, why we're taking Reta, is for that loss of appetite. So almost everyone that's taken it always experiences that side effect, quote unquote, of loss of appetite, which is honestly the best side effect you can get. And because retatrutide is more potent than current medications, some participants experience stronger gastrointestinal or GI symptoms, especially during dose escalation or upping their dose too fast. So, for my personal experience using Reta, I have nothing but praise and good things to say. I'm not trying to sell you guys anything. I'm not affiliated with anyone or any peptide company. I literally am just a guy who was interested in retatrutide, and I've been using it, and it's changed my life. I mean, there's no other way to put it. If you're someone who struggles with food noise, who struggles with overeating, then this is for you. I was the same way. I was never really like obese like that. I have been overweight and a normal BMI and a healthy weight, and I've been underweight. So I've gone through all the different levels, right? Whether I'm cutting or bulking. But for me, retatrutide has helped me cancel that food noise and eat when I have to eat. Eat when I'm hungry, and then when I get full, I'll stop. It helps me control my portions and eliminate always thinking about food constantly, right? So that's the great thing. For side effects, I haven't really experienced much. I've been on it for about 6 weeks. No real side effects other than the first 2 days after the initial injection. I did experience a little bit of nausea, but ever since then, everything's been great. If you do overeat, I have overeaten twice, and it kicks you in the ass because you feel like shit, like you feel sick. At least that's how I felt. Everyone's different. But nothing but praise for this peptide. I've lost 18 pounds so far, um, and I feel great. So to sum everything up we've talked about in the video, basically Retatrutide is one of the most promising new therapies in metabolic medicine, but of course it is still investigational, right? It's still in clinical trials and not yet FDA approved. If it's approved, obviously it could reshape the future of obesity and diabetes treatment. If you don't fall into that category, like myself, it is still a tool that we can utilize and is great, you know? It's safe. It'll obviously get approved down the line. Honestly, I think pretty soon, but I hope you guys understand that this is safe, you know. And if you're taking it research use, you're still gonna find these great effects. So I hope you guys learned a thing or two. Um, and if you found this breakdown helpful, hope you guys could like and subscribe. And let me know what other peptides or medications you want me to cover next. If you guys want me to go more into depth of my personal experience with Retta, I will. I didn't want to make this video too long. I'm already getting into that, 11-minute range. But thank you for watching, and let me know what else you want to see.